Liz.
How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Oh, good. Well, we are so excited to have you back in the great state of Texas this weekend. We always love it when we get a good convention appearance from you, but Houston Horror is pretty fun. You got to be excited to come down here and just get loved on all weekend, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Very much looking forward to it.
Oh, that's great. Well, I see all the great Jack Skellington stuff behind you. I know that people love to ask about that, but at this we may see a little bit more Fright Night. We might say who knows what we'll see, right? What do people love to talk to you
Yeah,
about?
a few more things there too. There's a little Princess Bride as I pan up the camera,
That's
uh,
great.
and Fright Night, the movie Fright Night, and Child's Play, the first Chucky,
Yes.
first in the series of Chucky movies. So I think there'll be a few things. A movie called The Resurrected, which was an
Yes.
adaptation of a Lovecraft. Can't remember if it was a Lovecraft novel or a Lovecraft story. At any rate, excuse me. And so there are a few things, I think.
Ah, that's beautiful. Well,
Mhm.
and it's got to be great too to just to see so many, how much of an impression the films that you have made have made on people. When you see the Jack Skellington tattoos, they want to talk to you all day about Princess Bride. They're just their love for all
Yeah.
of it. I mean,
Yeah. Absolutely. No, it's I'm in a very fortunate position in that I've been with in a number of movies that have not only followings but are part of the culture.
yeah.
So, that's something you can't beat, and that they've given people such extraordinary pleasure over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and of course, there's a lot of young actors that come to the film festival or to conventions. They go, "See, I want to do this," but you just make it look easy. So, what kind of advice do you give to people that want to follow in your footsteps?
Just enjoy the fans because the fans are what make these shows. Obviously, they're what drive the shows, and we're really in a position to provide a service, which is to uh, give them a friendly appearance and to talk. I love to chat with the fans. And we always get there are always unusual occurrences that happen, especially with kids. Kids are
Oh
the
yeah.
best, yeah. And I approach these with great humility because I know that these movies mean a lot to people. They mean a
Hmm.
lot to people in their lives. It gives them pleasure. I've had people tell me that Jack's voice, both the music, which is Danny Elfman, and my speaking voice, have gotten them through hard times.
Yeah.
Well, a young woman who told me once that her mother was a drug addict and that Jack's voice put her to sleep every night because her
Wow.
mother didn't. Uh,
Mhm.
it's sad, but at the same time, she came out of it, and she seems to be thriving, this woman. So, you provide things for people that you don't always expect, and it's always surprising and at the same time extraordinarily rewarding.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And what do you tell those actors that want to do what you do? Because that's a whole tough thing, but you've done it so well.
I generally say, don't.
Yeah.
That's the first word that comes out of my mouth. And it's not to be discouraging so much as that to be a kind of shock in the sense that you need to understand that this needs to be a calling. It
Mhm.
can't be just something that you want to do because you want to become famous or it looks like it's a romantic life. It's not. It's a tough life, and it's a life of rejection, much more than anything else. You're sort of like a baseball player. If you're batting 250, you're better than average. Um,
Yeah.
so, people have to understand, and also to have a plan B.
Mhm.
That is, if it's something you love, to find something that has this in its DNA, as it were. If you're a teacher or if you're going to be somebody who does community theater or whatever, that you find a way to express yourself in the acting profession that may not necessarily be on the bigger stage, but that may be on a stage that's still important to you and to other people.
Yeah. What was the bug that bit you? Was there a certain play you saw or a movie or TV show that made you think, I want to do this too?
Well, when I was a kid, I was always imitating people, and I grew up in a household where a foreign language was spoken. I'm Greek from both my mother and my father, and that was my first language. And so I think, from the very beginning required, or at least I required myself, to be two people, to
Yeah.
be the kid who lives at home. My parents used to take me places and they'd say, okay, tell them what you are. And I would say, I'm 100% American and full-blooded Greek.
Hmm.
And that meant that I had to be both,
Yeah.
and which is in a way a performance.
Yeah.
So along the way, I think I've found that it gave me pleasure and that I seemed to be pretty good at it.
Hmm.
And then when I got to college, I was involved in other stuff. And then I took an acting class just for the hell of it. And the teacher kept saying to me, you know, you're good at this. If you don't follow up on it, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And he put me in a couple of plays, which I thought, oh, okay, I'll just see what this is like. And I from that point on, I was done. That was it. This is my life.
Hmm. That's so cool. Well, it kind of leads up to the next thing. So my co-host is Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys. Caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame. So he wanted me to make sure I asked you your Hail Mary moment, the moment in your life or career you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
I think this was not necessarily a career defining moment as it was a defining moment for me as an actor.
Hmm.
That so much of what I have been trained for,
Hmm.
because I went through not only undergrad, the last 2 years of undergrad when I was an actor, but also I went to graduate school, then I was on a tour, and then when I came back from the tour, I was a stage manager. So I learned not only about the acting. Oh, and I was also in a theater company where I was the driver. I was the guy who schlepped all the union actors around, but I got
Hmm.
to be exposed to them, that is, actors, particularly from New York, theater actors, uh, and uh, and I got to see what the real life was like and what they needed to do in order to prepare. I'm sure an athlete can understand this as well, because you watch the people who are good at what you do, and then you pick and choose what you can use. And along the way, for instance, the first movie I did, I didn't have to worry about where I needed to be in the light, or my first, Broadway show. I
Hmm.
had already done that when I was on tour because I was the lighting designer as well as playing a couple of roles, right?
Hmm.
And I was driving the truck, so
Yeah.
the truck with all the sets on it.
Hmm.
And so I think the culminating moment came. That is when all this stuff kind of came together. Was I was doing a a a, a, it's called not a movie of the week. It was a television special called the Hallmark Hall of Fame, where they would do
Hmm.
classic novels,
Yeah.
adaptations of classic novels, and we were doing The Tale of Two Cities.
Oh, yeah.
The Charles Dickens, the great Dickens novel. And
Hmm.
there was a scene in which I had to play that I was playing two characters who look alike, but who are very different. And so all the scenes, and there was no computer generated stuff back then. You sat opposite an actor who was reading your lines to you if you were doing a scene with the other character, right, that I was playing. And
Hmm.
there was a cover over half the lens, and the camera shot that me doing the scene with this substitute,
Hmm.
with a wire in my ear, right? And they're recording the lines. Then I go change makeup. They put the lens on the other side, or the cap on the other side of the lens, and they crank the film back through the camera,
Wow.
and they shoot the scene again with me playing it opposite my doing it initially, right, with the first character. And it was the end of the day, and that was the last chance they had to shoot it. And if we didn't get it, we had to come back the next day, and it would have cost the producer at the time $100,000, which
Oh
was
my
at the
God.
time a big money. The budget for the show was
Yeah.
like $2 million, right? And I nailed it.
Ah,
And
yeah.
I'm not so much talking about the skill that was required to do it, was that it synthesized everything that I had learned up to that point in my acting life. I knew
Hmm.
about the technical side of it. I'd talked to the camera people. It was a sort of synthesis of everything, and I thought, wow, this is
Hmm.
this is a moment I'll always remember.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Man. Well, part of that when we talk about that on the show is that success mindset that you have to put yourself in, and even if you're not feeling it, and most of us creative types are hard on ourselves. So, what do you tell yourself that keeps you on the right path?
What are you talking about a
Yeah,
sort of
yeah, just on a day to day or just from set to
over
set.
yeah, well, essentially what you tell yourself is depend on your technique. That is
Hmm.
the things that you've learned about speech and presentation and how to shape a scene, how to learn what the heart of the scene is. But then once you've thought about all those things, to go with your gut
Hmm.
when you're in the moment, because you can't be standing back editorializing while you're doing it.
Hmm.
You have to be in the moment all the time. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but if you keep it up and keep approaching every scene, every line, every moment like that, then it ends up paying off.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Now, of course, we love seeing you on the big screen. So, like wherever we can see you, what are we going to see you in next?
Actually, I don't think you'll see me in anything. You might hear me.
Oh, good.
Actually, you might see me because I have done a podcast, which I'm actually uh, giving up the sort of the day-to-day sort of, doing 25, 30 episodes
Yeah.
a season. And I'm just going to do selective ones here and there. And it's called Cooking by Heart, because I grew up in a restaurant. My dad owned a
Yeah.
restaurant, and I grew up working in the restaurant.
Hmm.
Uh, which, by the way, was also how I learned more about, discipline and what it takes
Yeah.
to watch my father run this business. At any rate, and so I talked to people about, as I did, growing up around food. What was it like
Mm.
in your house?
Yeah.
What was it like around the dinner table? And it leads to some of the most wonderful stories. And
Mm.
I talked to actors, a lot of the people that I've worked with, some of the Princess Bride cast, some of the Nightmare Before Christmas cast, the Fright Night cast, but I talk up to chefs. I've done live
Yeah.
shows with the great Jacques Pepin, probably the one of the most influential chefs in American history, even though he's French,
Yeah.
and Lydia Bastianich and a woman named Alice Waters, who was the sort of the mother of the farm to table movement, and they all talk about how they grew up
Mm.
around food, and then we talk about their careers, what have you. And all the episodes, there are something like 65, 70 episodes, are at
Yeah.
chrissarandon.com.
Perfect.
And they are all either on any podcast platform that you care to
Mm.
subscribe to or just go to, and also on YouTube because we do videos as well as audios for all the shows. Um,
Yeah.
so that's where people can see me now. And
Hmm.
after that, you have to sort of, if I'm on the street somewhere, you'll see me, or if I'm at a Comic-Con,
Yes.
because I love to do these shows. I do maybe 7, 8 a year.
Hmm.
And I'm in Houston this coming weekend.
Yes. Hmm.
The end of the month, I'm in, I have to think of it, Cleveland.
Good.
And then I'm in Connecticut, near where I live. And then I'm in Savannah, Georgia. And then I'm, sort of all over the place, but having a great time. I love doing
Ah,
it. Yeah.
that's wonderful. Well, before we let you go, we have to ask, of course, since you're a big food guy, is part of the appeal getting to check out the fine restaurants in each of these towns, or is it just work, work, work?
Well, I used to when I was doing
Yes.
these shows. But the shows are also, if you really devote yourself to talking to the fans and experiencing whatever's going on for 8 or 10 hours every day that you're there, often I don't feel like going out. I do every once in a while, particularly if they're friends, especially, for instance, if the Fright Night gang gets together, we
Yeah.
always go out to dinner after one of the evenings. I used to go out all the time with Ken Page from
Yes.
The Nightmare Before Christmas, before sadly Ken passed.
Yeah.
Carrie Ellis and I, when we're doing a show together from The Princess Bride, we generally will go out and have something to eat after. But generally, I'm sitting in the hotel room with room service watching a ball game.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, we're so excited to have you back in Texas and in Houston. So we're gonna tell everybody come up and say hi, get a photo op, buy some things. There's so much great stuff to celebrate in your career. So we appreciate your time and the great answers, and look forward to talking to you again soon and seeing you in person.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. And
Thank you
I'm
so much.
seeing everybody at the Houston Horror Con.
Yes. All right. We'll see you this weekend.
And
Thank
say
you
hi
so much.
to Drew
Okay. Bye
Pearson.
bye.